Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
Bonjour, mesdames et messieurs,
Thank you for being so
et merci
many in this great
d'être si
arena.
nombreux dans
We are going
cette
to
merveilleuse
start
salle.
for the
Nous
2 coming
allons
hours. I'm very pleased and honored
démarrer
to
et
accompany
pendant
you
ces
for
2
those
prochaines
2
heures, je
2
serai
hours. My name is
ravi
Emmanuel
de
Ostiom,
vous
and
accompagner.
I'm a French
Je
journalist.
suis
What a
Emmanuel
video,
Ostiom
what a
et
program
je
we've got
suis journaliste
this
français.
morning. I know
Nous
you're
avons
all
un très beau
gathered
programme
to
ce
share
matin.
your
Vous
views,
êtes tous
insights,
rassemblés
and challenges
pour
around that
partager
very critical
vos
and
opinions,
important question.
vos
How to
connaissances
unleash digital.
au
How
sujet
to
d'une
improve, how to
question
go
tout à fait
further,
cruciale,
how to
comment
liberate the good
libérer
energies
les bonnes
around that
énergies, comment
central
libérer
issue. And
les
we've been through
technologies
lots
numériques.
of things those
Et
past 2 years, and I
beaucoup de
guess it's
choses
a
ont
pleasure for
évolué au
you
cours des
to
2
be
dernières
present.
années. Je suis
By the
sûr
way,
que
we
vous êtes
say
tous
hello
ravis
to all the
d'être
people who
présents.
follow us
Et d'ailleurs,
online
nous
this
allons
morning.
adresser
The
un
program is
bonjour à
very
toutes les personnes qui nous
rich
suivent
and
en ligne ce
exciting.
matin.
You're going to
Nous
see
avons un
very
très beau
qualified
programme ce
speakers
matin
in a
avec
moment.
des
We'll
orateurs de
come for
grande
15
qualité
minutes on this
qui
stage,
vont se
and we'll
succéder
end
pour
up
des
with a panel
présentations d'une quinzaine de
discussion
minutes.
around
Ensuite,
40
nous aurons
minutes
un
on
débat
that
d'une
central
quarantaine
and
de
key
minutes
issue,
sur cette
the
question
European
absolument
industries
centrale,
and
à
the
savoir
digital
l'industrie
transformation.
européenne et la
We've got
transformation
the
numérique.
honor to
Mais
start
nous avons maintenant
with
l'honneur et le
Mr. Ken
plaisir
Hu, the
d'accueillir
rotating chairman of
Monsieur
Huawei.
Ken Hu,
He's not
le
here, but he
président
really
de
wanted
Huawei,
to
qui n'est
record
pas avec
a
nous dans la
message
salle,
for
mais qui
all
voulait
of you
enregistrer
to
un
start
message à votre
this
attention
Huawei Connect
afin de
2022
lancer cette
in Paris.
convention
Let's listen to
Huawei
him.
Connect 2022 à Paris. Nous l'écoutons.
Hi, good morning everyone.
Bonjour à
Welcome to
tous et à
Huawei
toutes,
Connect
bienvenue
2022.
à la convention
And
Huawei
thanks for joining
Connect
us today.
2022. Merci de
It's a
nous avoir
great honor to host
rejoints.
Huawei
C'est un grand
Connect in
honneur
Paris
que de
this year.
tenir cette convention à Paris
Thanks
cette
to
année.
your green and the digital transition strategy,
Grâce aux stratégies
Europe
de
has made
transition
dramatic
écologique,
progress in digital
l'Europe
transformation
a fait beaucoup de
and
progrès
is
dans le
leading the
domaine de la
global
transition
transition towards a
numérique
greener future.
et mène le monde
Today,
vers
I'd
une
like to talk
transition
about
plus
the
verte.
digital
Aujourd'hui,
transformation,
je voulais vous
where
parler de la
industries
transition
are heading,
numérique. Où
as well
allons-nous
as the challenges
et
and
quels
new
sont
opportunities ahead.
les défis et les
The
opportunités
digital
qui se
revolution
présentent à
is
nous?
speeding up.
Cette
The
révolution
demand is
numérique
there,
est en train de
and so
s'accélérer.
are the
La demande est
technologies.
bien là.
From a demand
Et
perspective,
nous
because
devons
of the
développer nos
pandemic and
technologies.
dramatic
Tout
shifts
ceci est
in the
dû
global
à la
economy,
pandémie
there
et au
is an
fait que
urgent
notre économie se
need for
mondialise.
industries
Nous
to
avons
recover
besoin, en
and
tant
operate.
qu'entreprise,
Going
d'avancer
digital is
et de
clearly the right
progresser.
choice.
Et bien
Over
entendu,
the
les
past
outils
2
numériques
years,
sont le bon
GDP
choix.
growth
Au
has
cours
been
des 2
unstable.
dernières années, la
However,
croissance du
only the
PIB
digital
mondial
economy
a
has seen
été incertain,
consistent
mais
growth
seule
on a
l'économie
global
numérique
scale,
a
more than
connu une
15%
progression à
in
l'échelle mondiale,
2021.
plus de 50% en
On the
2021.
technology side,
Côté
broadband
technologie
networks, cloud,
et
and
côté
AI
réseau,
are more
côté
than ready
intelligence
to meet demand.
artificielle, côté cloud, nous
Applications
sommes prêts à
like
faire face à la
autonomous
demande.
driving,
Vous avez des
remote
applications comme la
controls,
voiture
and
autonome,
AI inspection
la- les-
are already
les-
creating
et
real
tout ce qui est
value in
lié à
domains like
l'intelligence
ports,
artificielle sont en train
manufacturing, and
de créer
energy.
de la véritable
The
valeur dans
world
différents
is
domaines, dont
unleashing
l'énergie.
digital
Le
productivity,
monde est en train
and
de
it
libérer
is
la
happening
productivité
right now.
numérique et c'est en train de se
Of
produire
course,
dès maintenant.
different
Bien
countries
entendu,
and organizations are at different stages of their digital transformation. But no matter what stage they're at, they all face some common challenges. The first is digital infrastructure. Network penetration, cloud adoption, and accessible computing resources are major pain points for organizations just starting out. But for more advanced organizations, industrial scenarios require critical improvements in computing power, as well as network capacity, bandwidth, and latency. Second, introducing new technology to industrial scenarios is not easy. There are not enough ready-to-use solutions, and all industries have a real lack of experience and digital talent. Take AI, for example. Some CPOs are using AI to automate scheduling. This generates huge gains in productivity. But implementation is not easy. They need to set up their own IT infrastructure and development environments. And they also need a large team of experts to develop applications, which typically take around 3 to 6 months. The time and cost are major barriers for most organizations. Application development is the third major challenge. According to IDC, by 2024, over 500 million digital apps and services will be developed on the cloud. That's more than all of the applications developed in the past 40 years. Traditional development processes are not enough to meet these needs. These are the common challenges that we need to deal with. We can work together to break through these bottlenecks in three areas: boosting digital infrastructure, making the most of cloud, and building a stronger digital ecosystem. Let me share some more details. Digital infrastructure is the foundation of digital transformation. In particular, connectivity and computing infrastructure are two key pillars, and they both need upgrades. For connectivity, network technology needs to support billions of connections for industrial IoT networks. Networks also need to support 10 times the current bandwidth, microsecond level latency, and industrial-grade reliability. At Huawei, we are actively working with our industrial partners on 5.5G, the next generation of 5G technology, both in fixed and wireless domains. Our goal is to greatly boost network capacity, ensure ubiquitous 10 gigabit speeds, and meet industrial demand for reliable, low-latency connections. As for computing, the world is experiencing explosive demand for computing power. By 2030, general-purpose computing power needs to grow by 10 times, and AI computing power by 500 times. This is a huge gap. To meet future demand, we are working hard to build stronger infrastructure for diversified computing, including better coordination between cloud, edge, and devices. At the same time, we're driving new innovations in computing architecture and holistic system performance to boost overall performance and efficiency. There's no question that cloud is the way for the future. By 2025, more than 85% organizations will adopt a cloud-first strategy. But for most organizations, especially SMEs, the value of cloud tends to stop at traditional benefits like flexible infrastructure and resources. However, modern cloud solutions can offer so much more. At Huawei, we are doing what we can to help organizations go beyond simple cloud adoption and truly make the most of cloud. To deliver the most advanced technology as a service, we provide 4 pipelines for AI development, data governance, software development, and digital content. We also offer in-depth consulting services to help our customers get the most value from the cloud-based technology and resources. Let me share a few examples. The first is a major hospital in Xi'an, China, with Huawei's pre-trained AI models. They are greatly speeding up the pharmaceutical R&D processes. In the past, it took years to identify lead compounds that form the basis of new medicines. And now they can do the same work in about 1 month with the help of AI. Let's take a look.
Dr. Liu Bing discovered an entirely new way to
a powerful new antibiotic.
It's called Drug X.
This is a molecular structure of Drug X. It's designed to prevent bacterial cell division, so even the most resistant strains of bacteria will eventually die out. Drug X is likely to be the world's first new class of antibiotics in 40 years. Developing new drugs takes billions of dollars and upwards of 10 years. Discovering lead compounds alone takes about 3 to 5 years. We have to screen millions of small molecules to find out one that might work. It's an extremely iterative process, where even the slightest mistake can end the whole project. Only about 10 to 15% of the new drugs actually can make through the R&D process. Huawei Cloud has completely changed the game. We can use the powerful AI models to filter, predict, and score hundreds of millions of small molecules right in the cloud. Molecules with high scores are sent out for experimental validation. Using this model, we were able to speed up the process from several years to only 1 month and cut the R&D cost by 70%. The implications for the new drug development are astonishing. As the AI helps accelerate pharmaceutical R&D, we were able to develop new drugs faster and ultimately help more people.
We've also seen some incredible results in the finance sector. The Green Link Digital Bank in Singapore is a new type of bank that provides digital banking services. For traditional banks, setting up their core infrastructure can take 2 to 3 years. Using cloud-native development services, Green Link fully developed their banking system and services in less than 1 year. With shorter development cycles, they can also react quickly to new customer needs. That's our focuses with cloud. Not just helping businesses use it, but helping them make the most of it for leapfrog development. Right now, we provide more than 240 cloud services and over 50,000 APIs to help enterprises take full advantage of new technology whenever and wherever they need it. As the world goes digital, there is so much potential out there, and we can work together to unleash it. Huawei has been working closely with our European customers and partners for more than 20 years. On the digital side, we're working hard to build robust, secure, and resilient ICT infrastructure. To support ongoing innovation, we have also built multiple innovation and experience centers, as well as open labs in cities like Munich and Paris. Together, we can create more targeted solutions for European industries and help speed up the digital transformation process. On the green front, we combine digital technology with power electronics to help our customers in all industries lower their carbon footprint. As of 2021, we have helped them generate more than 84 billion kilowatts of clean energy here in Europe, cutting CO2 emission by nearly 24 million tons. As for ecosystem development, our focus is on supporting local efforts to build digital talent and promote digital inclusion. We have opened a number of ICT academies in Europe that focus on upscaling students and professionals. Starting in 2011, we have provided ICT training for more than 4,000 people in 12 countries, including France and Germany. From sustainable development to building out the ecosystem, we're in Europe for Europe. It's a great honor to host this year's event in Paris, and we look forward to working with you to build a greener digital future for all.
And thank you for applauding Mr. Ken Hu. Thanks a lot, 谢谢你, as we say in Chinese. I know he might be watching us at the moment. It was a very inspiring introduction for this debate. This morning, the next speaker is present. He's here. He's the Vice President Web 3.0 of a great French company, Vivendi, and he's going to talk about digital transformation strategies and practices of industry benchmark enterprise. Please welcome warmly Mr. Fabien Offrechter.
Thank you.
Leave you the floor.
Wow. Such a pleasure to see so many people here today. Thank you very much for attending this great event, and I'm very glad to be here to pitch you about Vivendi. As you may know, Vivendi is a great French group. I'm glad to be in charge now for Web3 for Vivendi, aside of all what I'm doing, such as being mayor of a city next to Paris. And today, what I would like to talk about is basically how Vivendi is seizing the opportunity of transformation, of digital transformation, in order to gain business. First of all, you may know, or may not, by the way, who is the founder of Vivendi, and what was Vivendi at the very beginning. Originally speaking, the founder of Vivendi is somebody very famous. It's Napoleon III, at the end of the 19th century. And I guess it's not what you were expecting. Yes, Vivendi is known to be, originally speaking, a water company. A water company, which is not today what you have in mind, because today, as you may know, Vivendi is actually something else, being a major European player on entertainment with a strong international presence. With a range of activities from audiovisual and cinema, from communication to magazine, live, publishing, video game, or music, with strong brands such as Canal+, Havas, Editis, Prisma Media, Gamelot, Vivendi Village, or again, Dailymotion. These brands are retail brands. We are addressing directly to our customers, which is pretty different, I guess, from what Vivendi was at the very beginning. But how a water company can become a leading group in media, content, entertainment, and communication? What is the key? And today, I would like to share with you our experience, our practices, and our strategy. The key being, as you can expect, transformation. More than 1 century has been taken for us to transform and reinvent entirely our businesses. We are today a creative group. We unleash creation by revealing our talents, valuing all ideas and cultures, and sharing them with as many people as possible. The key for us is creativity. We bet on transformation to avoid being disrupted. You know, most of our brands are intermediaries between A and B, meaning that the question is always the same. Are we one day going to be disrupted? And Web3 could be seen as a threat, but you know, the best way to avoid being disrupted is transformation, is seizing the tech, for example, in order to transform ourselves and to develop and gain new businesses and to transform our group. We bet originally on technologies. It's not something which is new. It is something that we have always been betting on from the very beginning of our company. And the key today has been changing, not just to bet on technology, but to dare seizing the new technologies. AR, VR, 5Gs, IA, IoT, big data, Web3, all these new technologies are opportunities for us to develop strong businesses. I'll give you a range of cases, but as a starter, I would like to point out some things that you may not know. You may not know that within Vivendi, we have a range of different brands, from Keynote to Polyconseil, which are very interesting and very meaningful for you, because they are actually agencies helping clients to transform their business, to use digitalization as a tool to transform their businesses. We have more than 1,000 devs within our group to help our client, to support the growth, the digital growth to our client. And actually, the idea on our side is always the same. Use our strengths, use the experience we are doing for our clients to then seize their knowledge to transform ourselves. For sure, the pain point has always been the same. It's always difficult, especially these days, to find talents. I think the war on talents is something which is probably undervalued today. It's very hard to recruit. It's a big pain point for us and for all our partners. But actually, we are seizing this opportunity to develop strong partnerships. And developing strong partnerships help us to solve this issue and to go faster and to always gain new businesses through our partners. But how do you select the partners? It's always a big question. Should we go with all of them? Should we go with some of them? It's very difficult for a very big group to go with selected partners. And the question is always the same: how should we build our strategy? We've been digging up a lot about it. Should we go with the biggest? Should we go with the most innovative? Should we go with all of them? That's what we decided to go. We decided to become agnostic. We just work with the best. Basically, this means that we are not close-minded with just some partnerships. We are pretty open in order to go on different ways, on different businesses, and to develop our industry. For example, I'm not going to say that we are just working with the best and mention Huawei because we are in a Huawei event. But actually, this is a good example. Using the power of 5G, using also all the power of the cloud, which has been mentioned just before, is a great tool to develop some of our businesses. Dailymotion is a good example. Also Gameloft using Huawei mobile services, which is just a tool very effective for us in order to develop our streaming for gaming, for example. Also, we are using a range of very different other partners. I love mentioning, for example, Sandbox and the Web3, because actually I'm in charge of Web3 in Havas, more especially on blockchain, crypto, token economy, but also using all the other tech to support this new industry. You have no Web3 without cloud. You have no Web3 neither without a range of other tech, 5G included. And we are the first group with Havas Group who sees the Web3 opportunity to launch in the entertainment area a first digital village within the metaverse. We use the best tech, we use the best partners in order then to develop a very strong and powerful strategy for each of our brands and for our group. The key is always difficult to underline how we can use some of our strengths, some of our partners, some of our businesses, digital businesses, in order to make sense. This is very difficult for us to create such a strategy because, each of our brands are actually having different strategies. However, there is one thing which is very transversal, very global for our group, being meaningful. Being meaningful is not just a word, it's how we can together, all of our different brands, seize the same opportunities, transformation, in order to then be more meaningful just for our clients, just for our partners, and also for our employees. Tech is not just a tool to transform our businesses for our clients and partners. You need to keep in mind that it's also a tool, a very powerful tool, in order to transform also inside our companies, our HR policies. Being meaningful means using the tech, but not any tech. Tech without affect is only the ruin of the soul, used to say Jacques Seguela, one of our key founder of Havas. Actually, this is super important for us. We need to seize the tech, but not any tech, the right one. We hate at Havas using 5G or blockchain or crypto just for the buzzword. We like taking the right tech for the right pain point, for developing our businesses and not doing any buzz, but rather being on the shadow, using the right tech for solving the right issue. And actually, a good example of this is how we can use, for example, at Canal, the right tech in order to develop our business. Today, you probably know, for example, each of your Canal+ accounts are personalized. They are all different. One brand, one service, I guess, but always a personalized account. This is possible because of the data, because we just want to have a meaningful approach in order to offer a unique experience to each of our customers. This is super important because actually, 80% of today's business could disappear in indifference. In order to avoid this situation, there is just one way: to be super personalized, but also to be closer to our customers without letting them the impression that we are tracking them, which would be the worst thing, obviously, in order to gain new markets and to develop our businesses. In Havas, in Dailymotion, in Gameloft, Editis, etc. The key is how to size the innovation in order to gain new market. But it's also something which is very, let's say, important, not only developing market for us, not developing business just for us, but also trying to get the very best brands, sometimes startups, sometimes SMEs, sometimes just entrepreneurs with great ideas, and how to embark them with their global innovation within our group for us, for our clients, and for our partners. Actually, within Vivendi, we have incubators. For example, in Station F, we have also a strong policy in open innovation. And more globally, working with the best means sometimes, and pretty often, and we're glad of it, to be able to embark all our network in order to develop new products and to develop new experiences. Innovating is not just a word, it's a strong strategy. For example, as I mentioned Web3, it is important for you to have in mind that it's not just using the buzzword again, it's trying to use the right tech in order, with all the Web3 ecosystem, to solve some issues. I'll give you one example, one very interesting one. For example, you know, within Havas, Editis, Canal+, Dailymotion, Gameloft, as I said, there's a range of different brands using a different range of tech. This is super powerful when you can do cross-tech within one ecosystem. But this is probably one of the things the most difficult. How can you do it when the law, when the tech is not allowing you to do it? The best way can be just to go with one tech for every business unit. It's super hard, and you probably know it if you are in the sector. It's always difficult to use the same tech for all of them. Why? Because they are big businesses, they are international businesses, and having everyone on the same tech is actually very expensive, but also very difficult. So sometimes you can use tech such as 5G or blockchain in order to build new cross businesses. Token economy is one of these examples. You could have tomorrow a cross CRM, for example, using new tech, using maybe blockchain, maybe not, in order to diversify our economy. I mean, it is super important for us not to see just the tech as the tech, but as I said, tech for business, tech for real, tech for our clients and customers. We innovate, as I said, in Vivendi, but sometimes I have the question, all right, you are innovating, very good, but actually, what does this mean for a group such as Vivendi, which is a financial holding with a range of very different brands, with new acquisition, by the way, and also a range of pain points being a lack probably of identity sometimes. How do we build our group strategy and what can we do for it? And I believe having a VP of Web3 is one of the answers. Today, all the groups need to seize the digital revolution's opportunities. We need to be able, not only for entertainment, not only for our core businesses, but also for our internal businesses. I mentioned HR, I could mention management, I could also mention a range of things we've been building within our group in order really to develop our policies, internal policies, but also obviously external policies, including, for example, PR. That's something you often forget, but actually tech can also be a very strong way, not only to develop businesses, but also, not just for the buzzword, but to develop your reputation. I'm not going to be any longer. The goal today was to show you, to showcase how a group such as Vivendi is really able to seize the opportunity offered by tech, multi-tech, in order to develop our core businesses, but also our businesses more globally. We are very, very proud to be partnered with a range of players, including Huawei, and very proud also being an international group to be first here, because we are a French company, but also more globally in the world to seize the different innovations offered by the sector. Thank you very much. I'm all yours if you have any question anyway, and I'm very glad again. Thank you very much for the invitation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Fabien. That was brilliant. And what I will recall is that you were created under Napoleon III, and now you're Web 3.0. That sounds quite logical, but that was brilliant. Thank you so much. And we've learned lots of things about metaverse and the need to transform and to digitally transform. And that word, maybe, that I will recall, meaningful. We have to find sense nowadays in this digital transformation. So thanks again, Fabien. Next speaker is the president of Digital Commission of CPME in France. All the French people know. He's going to talk about strategies, policies in digitalization of industry. Please welcome warmly Mr. Alain Assouline. Welcome on this stage.
Bonjour.
Bonjour.
Bonjour à toutes et bonjour à tous. Je suis ravi
Good morning.
d'être
I'm
ici
delighted to be here with you today.
Vous avez entendu un grand groupe et il parlait en
You've
anglais. Moi, je vais
heard
vous parler de
someone
petites
representing a
entreprises et des
major
petites
group
entreprises,
who
et je vous parle en
spoke
français.
English, and I'm here
Alors,
representing
pour,
SMEs, so I'll be
la
speaking in
CPME,
French.
qui est la confédération
The
des petites
CPME,
entreprises
the Confederation
françaises,
of Small
s'est donné
and
pour,
of SMEs in France,
pour mission
has
d'accélérer et
one
d'accompagner la transformation numérique
mandate
des petites entreprises,
supporting
qui est un
digital
enjeu
transformation
crucial
of
pour toutes ces
small
entreprises.
businesses. This is a key
Je vais
issue
évidemment
for
peut-être
those
enfoncer
companies.
des portes ouvertes ici, mais vous dire
I will
pour les
not
petites
be telling you
entreprises,
anything
quelles
very
sont déjà
surprising, but
l'utilité,
I
quelle est
wanted
déjà
to
l'utilité
stress
du numérique.
how useful
Il y a une
digitalization
première
is for
utilité qui est devenue
small
évidente,
companies.
en
First
particulier
use
pendant la crise sanitaire,
that became
c'est que
obvious,
ça leur
especially during
permet
the health
d'accroître leur
crisis, it can help
visibilité
us increase
et donc
their
l'activité de
visibility and
l'entreprise.
therefore their
Ça
business,
permet de
grow
rendre
their
visible
business.
l'entreprise
It
et
allows for a
d'élargir
better
sa
visibility
zone
of the
d'achat
company,
son activité.
grow
Ça
its
permet de maintenir le
activities,
lien avec le client
and can
et se
maintain
faire
link
connaître
and
auprès
relationship
d'un
with the
public beaucoup plus
customers.
large.
It can also help them
En
reach new
2021,
customers.
donc,
In 2021,
juste après ou vers la fin de la crise sanitaire, si tant est qu'on en est
towards
sorti,
the end of the health crisis,
69% des
even though I'm not sure we
Français
can say
ont
that
acheté sur
we are
Internet,
yet
contre
reaching the end of this
39%
health
en
crisis.
2009.
69% of
Donc,
French
on
people
peut dire
bought
qu'il y a eu une
products on the
accélération,
internet,
extrêmement
compared
importante.
with 39% in
Pendant cette
2009,
crise
so a
sanitaire,
very
nous avons,
important
vu
growth.
se développer
And during this
beaucoup plus
crisis,
de
we've
sites
seen
marchands,
many
des
different
propositions de paiement en
trade
ligne,
websites
des services
who
de
went
livraison
up.
ont été créés,
Some delivery
et,
services were
du click
created
and
as well.
collect a été,
Click and
a
collect
été mis en place,
was
par
implemented
beaucoup, y compris
and
de
offered
commerçants
by
et d'artisans.
many different
La
small
deuxième
companies as
chose,
well.
c'est que ça permet aux entreprises
Second thing, this
d'optimiser
allows
leurs
companies
process
to
internes,
optimize
d'optimiser
their
leur
internal
logistique,
processes, their
parce que la
logistics
gestion
activities,
dématérialisée des
because
services, des données,
managing
des procédures
data
de l'entreprise, permet aux
and process
collaborateurs
within the
de
companies
les consulter
in
à
this
leur guise sur n'importe quel
immaterial
support,
way can
tablette,
help,
PC,
can make it
ordinateur
possible to
portable.
access
Et ça a
all
été
this
aussi un
information
élément très important,
from
dans
everywhere. So
la
this is
situation
something
que nous
also
avons
that
connue
was very
récemment.
important
Mais du coup,
in the
la
past couple of
capacité à
years.
collecter
But
et
that means
analyser
that
les
the
données
ability to
pour mieux
collect and
connaître ses
analyze
clients,
data to
ça
better
aussi contribue à
understand
la
your
génération
customer
de nouveaux
also
revenus.
helps
Donc ça
generating
permet
new
cette,
revenues.
je le rappelle, l'accès décentralisé de la
The
facturation, de la
decentralized access
comptabilité des
to
commandes,
invoicing,
ça
to
permet de
managing
partager
your
du
accounting
travail
and
instantané,
orders. That
donc
was very
encourager le
interesting
travail
to
collaboratif, y compris à
then
distance,
support
une meilleure
collaborative
rapidité
work.
et cohésion d'équipe, la gestion
It
des
helped
stocks et des
improving
livraisons
team
grâce à la
cohesion,
connaissance des data.
improve the
On
stocks
peut
management.
encore mieux
Thanks to data,
stocker, on
you
peut
can
produire,
improve the way you
juste comme il faut.
stock
Et puis
your
donc, ça
products. You can
permet une
produce
plus grande
better,
efficacité
so that
du service
in
client.
turn improve the
Alors
efficiency
pour
of
cela,
the
on l'a
customer
vu, c'est que
services.
pendant la crise sanitaire, où il y a eu cette
During the health crisis,
accélération d'arrivée des petites
we've seen
entreprises
all
dans
these small
l'utilisation du
companies
digital,
turning to
et bien en
the
même
digital
temps,
world.
parce qu'ils l'ont fait quelquefois de manière
And
un
sometimes
petit peu précipitée, sans se faire
they
accompagner
were not supported by companies such as the ones that you represent here in the room. And so during the crisis, these small companies had an increase of cyber attacks, 400% of cyber attacks. In 2021, 20% of French companies were victims of one or many cyber attacks. So, of course, there are different softwares, firewalls, anti-spam software that we need to implement. So, what is my confederation, the CPME? It represents 99.9% of French companies that are either SMEs or very small companies. They are the backbone of the French economy. They are the ones generating jobs and revenues in the territories and in France. So our organization is defending their interests. We are the first organization in France. We represent about 250,000 companies, members of our confederation, and these companies hire about 4 million employees. We are a confederation made up of 111 federations and 116 territorial unions, representing all the different sectors of the economy in France. So, how are digital tools seen by small companies and the benefits that come with it? During the health crisis, France, which was 16th on the global scale when it comes to the digitalization of its small and medium enterprise, 81% of company leaders now think that digital represents a very important benefit for their companies. That number was only 78% in 2021 and 68% in 2020. So you can see that there is a very important progression there. For 59% of these leaders, digital tools can facilitate communication with employees or partners, and 78% of them think that digital tools can help facilitate communication with their customers. 86% of all companies have at least one digital solution to be visible online. That's an increase of 5 points compared with last year. And 68% of leaders are giving the priority to their websites and free referencing tools. 62%. So these are the figures extracted from the France Noob barometer for 2022. Now, this represents 99% of French companies, right? And companies, these small companies, have started to invest in the digital. In 2021, 41% spent 1,000 euros in digital tools, and 15% spent over 5,000 euros. For the next 2 years, 67% of these companies have digital projects, and 32% are planning on spending more than 2,000 euros. They usually stress two priorities in terms of investments: buying or improving their digital equipment for 28%. But of course, there are some pain points. First off, they are afraid of being targeted online. 44% of leaders say that they fear losing their data or being hacked. But the rate of equipment in cybersecurity solutions has now reached 81%. That's an increase of 5 points. So what do we do within CPME to support digital transition? We are a partner of France New. This is a platform that was created by the French government in 2018. And France New helps bringing together small companies in the territories in France to partners who can support the digital transformation of these small companies. We are also a member of a group called Tous en ligne maintenant, Let's All Go Online, that was created within the framework of the France Relance Plan. And we took part in the creation of Connect ta boîte, Connect Your Company. That's a TV show dedicated to digitizing SMEs and very small companies. We also launched the Trophée du Numérique, the Digital Awards, in September 2022. We gave prize to 5 companies on topics such as growth, notoriety, reputation, how the digital tools can help social inclusion and how it can be used to support human resources. And we are also a partner of the MOOC. Ma TPE gagne avec le numérique, my very small company can only benefit from the digital world. And then we are also working on cybersecurity issues. We work on raising awareness, working with the ANSSI, the French National Agency for IT Security. We are also a partner of the Cyber Month. This is a French national campaign. For a month, we are raising awareness on the issue of cybersecurity. We are also working on prevention activities and actions. So that means that we are relaying all the cyber alerts flagged by cybermalveillance.gov.fr, and we are also providing cyber help online to help small companies who are faced with difficulties for free. Thank you very much, and I hope to talk to you soon. Thank you very much, Alain Assouline. This was a very broad presentation.
Maybe some of you do. 3 figures that are very important. First, it was very important to have Alain Assouline because he represents 99% of the French companies, the SMEs. It's the beating heart of the French economy. And second, maybe those 20% of cyber attacks during the COVID period and the need of protection that was very important. And optimism also, 81% of the bosses think digital transformation is a profit to companies. So thanks again, Alain Assouline. We're going to talk about a key question nowadays, the fight against climate change. And we're going to welcome the president of the Global Solar Council and the general director of the UNEF. The UNEF is the Spanish Solar Photovoltaic Association. He's going to talk about renewable energy booster to carbon neutrality. He's coming from Spain. Please give an ovation to Mr. José Donoso. Bienvenidos. Gracias.
Sao Chan Hao. Bonjour. Good morning. Buenos días. Egunon. Okay. We have in this moment, we are in a very particular moment. Several years ago, we thought our generation will not leave these topics. But now, we are living several these topics once again the other. Or better say, all together. And our society, the humanity, the whole humanity, have important challenge. And the most of these challenges are related with energy consumption or energy production. The challenge for a policymaker in energy, the major challenge, or that we can say the same challenge that have the whole society, are to have an energy system that will be economically sustainable, give energy independence to the countries, give competitiveness to our economies, and at the same time, help us to fight the climate emergency. The answer, of part of the answer, as minimum, to all this problem is in renewable energies, especially in PV, especially in wind. Economically sustainable PV and wind now, today, with best natural resources, are the cheaper way to produce electricity. We take profit of an endogenous reserve that will change the world. In the past, we spoke about geostrategy, the need for several countries to control several geographic areas of the world to have the possibility to assure his delivery of fossil fuels. With wind or sun or solar electricity, we don't need it. Everybody has his natural resource. That is only important is technology. Technology is the key. We are emigrating from geostrategy to technology, tech strategy. We create economical growing. We create jobs, a lot of jobs. And of course, we are a clean technology with no CO2 emission, and particular solar PV, with any damage to the nature, to the biodiversity. We are an opportunity for the biodiversity, not a problem for the biodiversity. European countries, after the COVID, European understood this message that we must go together, economy and energy, economy and environment. And they found a very important tool for the economic development, to have a more clean electricity in renewables, with the program of the European Green Deal. That have the give one target to the European Union to achieve a 45% of his target of his energy production through renewable energies. Several countries even try now to go further. Germany, for instance, duplicate his target of PV from 100 gigawatts to 200 gigawatts. Spain has a target for the same year, the 2030, of 39 gigawatts of PV. But now is in the process of review, and maybe the final target will be between 55 to 65 gigawatts. But then another dystopia arrived. We found incredible high electricity prices that never happened before. It was impossible. Nobody believed that we, in the last 20 years, the electricity prices in Europe moved between 35, 55, 60 euros per megawatt hour. And now these prices are multiplied by 100. Prices of 300, 400, even 500 euros per megawatt hour are not so strange today in the European electricity markets. With these prices create inflation. This creates a lot of economical problems, a new economical crisis. Then, the European Union created a new program, REPowerEU, try to give an answer to this situation. with improving saving energy, producing more clean energy, and diversify our energy supplies. Solar could play an important role to reach energy independence. Now, Europe is quite dependent, and most of the countries in the world are quite dependent of fossil fuel. And at the same time, you can see here how now the cost of the renewable energies, particularly PV, solar, is the cheaper way to produce, with a big difference, very big difference, with fossil fuels or other sources of electricity. As an example, in Spain, last year, in the auctions that the government organized, the average price of the auctions were 24.5 euros per megawatt, and the second one, 30.4 euros per megawatt. Remember that the prices that we have today are 10 times this price. You can see how competitive is PV today. Then do that in many countries, governments provide enormous investment and support to develop renewable energy, including solar. But really, in many countries, we don't need it. Subsidies for self-consumption can help us to go more fast in the introduction in the market. But at utility scale, we can do many plants without any public intervention, only with bilateral contracts with companies or directly going to the merchant, but especially in this moment of these so high prices. Spain is one example. All that we built up in the last year was built up with any public intervention, only bilateral contracts or some of the projects with merchant. Economical development. Solar industry can create in the next year 1 million job opportunities in Europe. But we have challenge. Life is not so easy. First, we need to improve the biodiversity, integration in the biodiversity. We want to improve the socio-economical local impact of the plants. We came from the public support. We were very expensive in the past. And thanks to the support of the society, policymakers help us to go through technology. Thanks to the job, to the duty that many companies, technological companies, as Huawei, today we have prices much cheaper. But we need to preserve this social support about taking care of our biodiversity, integration of our plants, and to socio-economic, local socio-economic impact in the village, but especially in the village we'll build up our plants. Second challenge is permitting. We have a lot of projects now in Europe and many countries in the world, but public administration is not ready for this huge amount of projects. That means delays, important delays. And 1 year that will, for bureaucratic reason, one project is delayed into connected to the grid, means 1 year with expensive electricity, 1 year or more CO2 emission that could be avoided. We need to rationalize the permitting process. We need more grid integration. And in this area, the job of companies of Huawei is very important. Digitalization will be key to improve our grid integration of renewable electricities. We need a new market price system that from one side can give to the society the possibility to take profit of these cheap prices that came from solar, but at the same time give to the investors confidence that they will recover his investment. We need to find that balanced new market price system. The marginal system that we have today doesn't go more. It's not possible to give a right price signal to the investor from one system that is based in variable cost to a technology that has not variable cost. Then monetary policy. We are intensive in capital. Then we'll see what happens now with when the price of the money is growing. One of the reasons our boom today is because there is a big liquidity in the financial markets and not many possibilities to invest, and our sector is one of them. We'll see now what happened with this new, with inflation and more interest rates. Storage and hydrogen, key, are key for the future because we have a variable production. We need to storage in the day through batteries, as Huawei batteries, but we need to storage in the season. And for that, we need hydrogen. And finally, that we less expected. We have a bottleneck in workforce. All these projects need a lot of workforce. And we start to have problems to find enough workforce for develop these projects. Concluding, solar and wind energy with good natural resource are the cheapest way to produce electricity. The energy transition is an opportunity, not only to have clean energy, but also cheap energy, while contributing to their energy independence. Storage and hydrogen are called to play an essential role in increasing the penetration of renewable energies. But digitalization too is called to play an essential role, because we need to continue dreaming. We built up in the last year the dream to have a clean and cheap way to produce electricity. Now, we need to build up the dream to have smart cities, smart islands, smart regions. We need digitalization to integrate safe energy, demand-side management with renewables production, with internet, with electrification of transport, and so and so. And for that, we need 5.5G, we need digitalization. Real conclusion, we are building a new world. We have the possibility to build now, to do the things in the right way, a more economically and environmental sustainable world, but at the same time to one more safe world. Thank you very much.
Muchas gracias. Thanks a lot, and congratulations. And thank you for recalling us how vital this renewable sector is, not only for the planet, but also for the economy. And it will go along with digital transformation to boost, in some way, the power of the sun, the wind, the water, the hydrogen. The last keynote speaker of this morning comes from a beautiful country, Slovenia. He's member of the European Parliament. He's co-chair of the RUMRA and Smart Villages Intergroup in the European Parliament, and is a chair of the European Smart Villages Forums. That's a lot. And he's going to talk about the necessary path to digital transformation that leaves no one behind. It's the social aspect. Please welcome Mr. Frank Bogovic. Welcome.
Good morning. As it was said, I'm from the country which is on the sunny side of Alps, so I can continue after my Spanish colleague. I am a member of European Parliament and we speak a lot about European policies which were presented also here. And allow me to say a few words about two main topics. First is about legislation, which we accept in the European Parliament this time. And the second, as it was said, I work quite a lot on this topic, how to fulfill this digital gap between rural and urban. In the European Parliament, we have many topics on the tables, and usually last years we must speak a lot about different crises which are around us, but there are also some basic strategies on which we work and on which we all together work. And these strategies are connected with, on one side, climate changes, on the second, how the economical development, also demographical problems which are in Europe, and also about digitalization, where we all know that Europe must do a lot also to catch the development in other parts of the world. So as member of European Parliament, I am proud to say that this year, 2022, has been a crucial year for the European digital policy agenda. Agreements emerged on important aspects of European Commission's digital policy agenda. So we spoke and also get agreement about the Digital Market Act, about Digital Service Act, the Data Governance Act, and the revised NIS2 Network and Information Security Directive. New legislative proposals for 2022 have also been presented recently by the European Commission, and it includes the Data Act, the Cyber Resilience Act, and the Artificial Intelligence Liability Package. These digital policies being developed at the European level will shape Europe's digital future. Digital technology is changing people's life. The EU's digital strategy aims to make this transformation work for people and business while helping to achieve its target of climate-neutral Europe by 2050, as we also saw in previous presentations. The European approach will be based on three main pillars to ensure that Europe seizes the opportunity and gives its citizens, businesses, and governments control over digital transformation. The first pillar is technology that works for the people. Accelerate the rollout of ultra-fast broadband for homes, schools, and hospitals throughout the EU will be essential. We also need to expand Europe's superconducting capacity to develop innovative solutions for medicine, transport, and environment. The second pillar is a fair and competitive digital economy, which will enable a vibrant community of innovative and fast-growing startups and small businesses to access finance to expand. The third one is an open, democratic, and sustainable society. We need to use technology to help Europe become climate neutral by 2050 and reduce the digital sector's carbon emissions. The increasingly popular use of ICT in different areas of life results in changes of the situation of individuals and entities. However, along with the new possibilities of socio-economic development come new risks related to the rise of new types of inequalities. One of such threats is a digital divide, notably between urban and rural areas. Our recent experiences has proven that digitalization can bridge physical distances to bring opportunities and services to us no matter where we live, so long as we have good digital connectivity. Yet, paradoxically, the exponential role of digital connectivities, services, and skills over the past couple of decades has exacerbated rural-urban disparities, where it should have reduced them. The smart cities concept has already borne fruit throughout Europe. It is logical consequences for us to now develop a smart village and to what is already working in cities. We have a deep strategy in the suitable technologies to revitalize rural areas, reverse the trend of depopulation, and protect people against rural poverty. The COVID crisis has made it clear that digital connectivity is not a luxury. If digital connectivity is fundamental, then fast, reliable, and robust digital infrastructure is foundation. Significant progress has already been made in providing broadband internet access to European households over the past 10 years. In the European Union, 70% of homes in 2021 had a high-speed internet connection, up from 16 in 2013, according to Eurostat. But in rural areas, which can struggle to get internet coverage, only 37 of homes had high-speed internet in 2021. The growing digital divide between urban and rural areas is one of the major challenges faced by citizens and businesses in Europe. As father, so call me, of the European Smart Villages project, I strongly believe that EU, national, regional, and local governments must intensify cooperation to ensure a decent access to internet and digital services in key areas such as healthcare, care for older people, education, public services and social inclusions, precision farming, bio-based industry, mobility, energy sector, small businesses, and many other sectors. The involvement and commitment of the public and of all stakeholders is crucial to achieve a successful digital transformation. Effective public-private partnership, the right incentivization, and the right technology are essential ingredients to bridge the digital divide. European Commission prepared long-term vision for rural areas which support the digitalization of the EU rural areas. In Brussels, some colleagues and I founded a European Smart Villages Forum in order to create a platform from which the Smart Villages movement can operate. It is geared to be a connector between the public and private sphere. In the last legislature, we have succeeded to ensure more than 4 billion euros in various EU funds of the current multi-annual financial framework of the EU for support the digitalization in rural areas. Our Smart Villages Forum is there in order to help rural communities identify and absorb these funds, while simultaneously connecting the Smart Villages development to private investors who can feel more comfortable investing in projects that have undergone the scrutiny of the European Commission. The vision of the European Smart Villages Forum is a resilient, just, democratic, and cohesive Europe in which citizens refocus on their local face-to-face communities and take pride and ownership in their remote and rural communities. Technology is implemented in a smart way, meaning it's a coherent, sustainable, and synergetic in order to improve the quality of life of every citizen and empower people to concentrate on what is essential for their families and self-fulfillment. When smart technology tools are interconnected in the constant communication with each other, the resulting new smart infrastructure will be larger than some of its parts and constantly improve thanks to its ability to self-adjust. The mission of Smart Villages Forum is nothing less than to change the way of life in Europe, a sustainable life in which we are in touch with our natural environment and food production and our life consciously with the help of smart synergies technology that help guide our daily behavior towards a healthy and sustainable life. We want to generate a political milieu in the EU which is conducive to application of smart technology in rural environment. Thank you, and I wish you a good conference, and thanks a lot for connecting the world. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Hvala in your language. Thank you for connecting the European Parliament and all those people in the room. We're going to take a few seconds just to change the set. It's the time for the panel discussion. We're going to talk with 4 specialists about the digital transformation in European industries. See you. And perfect timing for this stage transformation. We're going to talk about another transformation, the digital one in the European industries. They're going to join me on this